that leads me to my next question, though,
Yeah.
because it seems to me that Democrats are not learning their lessons from the election. They don't seem to be really wanting to work with Trump on things like, I mean, maybe a little bit on immigration, but certainly not on energy. Certainly not. I mean, I was just on Capitol Hill with Speaker Mike Johnson, and he was there because we had a press conference because my women's group, we are fighting to save women's sports. I mean, we love everyone. This isn't about being anti anybody, but biological men should not be in women's sports. And only 2 Democrats voted for that bill. And one guy voted against it. It was Seth Moulton, who had been slapped on the wrist the moment he said, I've got 2 daughters and we need to read the tea leaves here. And he voted against it. So he obviously got reined in by his own party because they're not realizing, they're not getting it. And so when it comes to actually governing, I think Democrats are, at least from what I can see, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, are Democrats learning lessons from their electoral loss?
Well, I think it's too early to tell. Now, to be honest, what I find a little discouraging, and again, unlike you, I always look at both sides realistically, is that my worry is that there are so many entrenched interest groups when it comes to things like DEI and let me just sidestep it, this whole women's sports things. Okay. Yes, I agree. You shouldn't have people that were formerly boys competing in women's sports, but there's like 3 or 4 cases of this nationally. This is a classic example of, there was like one person in prison or something that got a sex change operation, and it's a successful campaign ad. This is such a minor thing. Now, yes, does it play well politically? Yes. But is it really relevant to our country's major challenges? Absolutely not. But to answer your question, we'll see. I think that what the Democrats need to do, and again, this whole thing on energy, I know Donald Trump isn't very informed, but this drill baby drill is such a stupid thing because the United States is producing more oil and natural gas now than we ever had. Okay. And that's one of the things that Biden should get credit for is that, and these days I don't give him credit for much, is that I've always said, hey, why can't we be full speed ahead on fossil fuels and alternative fuels instead of having to choose? And that's what Biden did. He invested more in clean energy than any president ever has. And we're drilling and we're producing more natural gas than ever. Now, were they slow to get going early in the administration? Yes. And did they hold some things back? Yes. But right now, we are drilling more than we ever had. So that's a moot point. But my advice to the Dems is be a real opposition party, okay? And don't bail out the Republicans. They would never bail you out. So when it comes to things like the debt limit, when it comes to things like passing a budget, let the Chip Roys, let the Masseys, let all those people tank things, and they're going to survive or thrive on their own. You need to be a true opposition party. The voters are going to respect you more for that. Those are the only 2 things you have to do. Don't help out the Republicans. Make Trump accountable. He's already said, I was going to lower prices. That's not going to happen. Now he's backing away from that. He's already made a lot of promises that he's already hedging on before he even gets into office. So hold him accountable, and I think they have a chance. But the Dems are wimps. They're terrible at marketing, and there's so many special interest groups that right now, to answer your question, I don't know whether they're going to change. It may be, unfortunately, like the Republic, like back in the 80s when they had to get thumped more than once. But we will see. The fact that Trump can't run again makes it more interesting.